episode of the Movie Brothers. I'm Ant, and this is Kev. Thank you guys for joining us once again. Kev, what's up, man?
What's going on, man? Back at it.
Yeah, man. I'm surprised you still know folks, man. After you do out here doing interviews and stuff now, man. I didn't know if you was gonna go high post on me.
Oh no, never that.
So, yo, what I'm referring to is actually for this film that we're reviewing today, Touch with Fire. Kev got an opportunity to interview the director, Paul Dalio. So I didn't know, how Kev is. I didn't know if he was gonna start playing me after the fact, So I guess we still cool for now.
We're still cool. I'm not gonna go off and leave you in the dust. You my boy.
So you've been thinking about leaving me in the dust?
No, I'm just saying, you my boy. You always be my man. 50 grand. So we good.
All right, man. All right. Y'all heard him say that, okay? So we'll remember that. We are reviewing the film for you today, Touch with Fire. This film is rated R, has a runtime of 1 hour and 50 minutes. It's about two bipolar patients who meet while receiving treatment, and they quickly find themselves in love and in a real dilemma.
Right. This film was directed by Paul Dalio. He also was the writer and editor and the composer on this film. He was triple threat.
Yeah, man.
This film stars Katie Holmes, Luke Kirby, Christine Lottie, and Griffin Dunn. You ready to take a look at the trailer?
Let's take a look at the trailer.
Hey. Hi. Okay?
Yeah.
It's 1 in the morning.
I just wanted to talk.
They call me Luna.
Fire went out last night.
Because my mind moves in tune with the lunar shifts. They call me a lunatic.
Sun burnt on the tip of the
Harley,
matchstick.
what's going on?
Ticks down to the minute the full moon's lit.
Going up in flames.
Hey, Dad.
What happened to your apartment?
I'm just trying to figure out who I am. Even when I go on the medication, I don't feel like myself. I saw myself involuntarily last night.
Yes,
you
I
can't
know,
keep
but
me
you're
here.
still not allowed to be released.
No.
This is a hospital for sick people. I'm not sick. I can understand why you'd be here. You look very sick to me. There's no life in your face.
Somewhere.
We have 2 new people today, Emily and Marco.
I go by Luna, my poet's name. You accidentally checked yourself into a mental institution.
For just one night.
We of the craft are all crazy. You know who said that? We're not from here, you and me.
All right, we're back. So, man, let's talk about this film, Kev, y'all. So, like I said, this film is a love story. It's about two people who fall in love, and that is wrapping up the real problem or the real crux of what's going on is two people dealing with bipolar disorder, right? And for those of you that aren't familiar with bipolar disorder, it's a mental illness and where there are two extremes, hence the bipolar piece of it, to where people go through episodes of extreme euphoria and happiness and excitement and extreme creativity, followed by the opposite end of the spectrum, which is severe depression.
Just soul-crushing lows.
Yes, and that's what they are dealing with. This film addresses mental illness in a way that I hadn't quite seen before, Kev. It's more drama than funny, although at times, in my opinion, it does make attempts at humor that didn't quite land for me. However, all in all, I would say that Paul Dalio, the director, delivers a competent film for us.
Absolutely. I mean, manic depression, that's what it used to be called. We used to refer to this condition as manic depression, now it's bipolar disorder. This movie is one of those love stories that could have easily descended into the area of schmaltz, okay?
But wait, hold on, Kev, I'm sorry, man. You gotta help me out here. Schmaltz? What the hell is schmaltz?
Schmaltz is where the love story is so syrupy sweet, so saccharine, okay? So exaggerated that it is unbelievable and oftentimes foolish, okay? That's what schmaltz is.
Thank you, Professor. The word of the day is schmaltz. Please continue. I
You're
apologize for interrupting you.
Yes, thank you very much. Paul Dalio avoids the schmaltzy elements, and presents a take on this condition, bipolar disorder, manic depression, whichever term you want to use, that I have not seen done before in film.
I totally agree with you on it. This film is practical. It's very realistic, okay? Life, right? Man, life is hard enough.
Right.
dial in some mental disorder that someone is dealing with, and then that takes it on a whole nother level.
Particularly when you throw relationships into the mix as well.
And then that's a whole nother layer. So
Right.
then it becomes really, really hard. And not only is that individual that has the mental disorder dealing with that, well, guess what? If they have family, right, the
Right.
family that's plugged into their lives, they're dealing with it also.
Absolutely.
And I think Paul did a great job of capturing the dynamics of what's happening
Right.
as not only you, the person that's dealing with the bipolar disorder, but the individuals around you. How are
Right.
they affected?
Right.
Yeah.
And another great thing that Paul does is that he draws us into the story. We are flies on the wall. We feel like we are actually
Yeah.
seeing this thing unfold before us, and it's very deep and at times heartbreaking to watch and see what these characters go through. As viewers, we possess a sense of dramatic irony as we're watching the film as well, and that we're well aware that this relationship is doomed to fail, and this cannot end. This cannot end in a very positive way. We know that as viewers, but we still root for these characters anyway. He does a very good job of setting these characters up and giving us something to care about.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt. I had to dig, Kev. I had to dig on this film. I mean, being
Okay.
totally honest, man. Love stories aren't one of my favorite genres out there.
Okay.
But still, I was able to get something, based on the things that we're talking about here. The film itself, it's beautifully shot.
Absolutely.
Did an excellent job with that. Now pacing was a little bit slow for me at times. I mean, it did kind of drag, but I was able to push through and get through that piece.
It strolls along at a fairly leisurely pace. I mean, Paul is really taking his time to set things up and unveil them, for us. But I agree that there are times where you will squirm a little bit in your seat, waiting for the next thing to really happen or jump off. Van Gogh's Starry Night plays a really, really powerful role in this film, almost like a character. It's another character. For those of you who are unfamiliar with that painting, it's the painting that Vincent Van Gogh painted. It's on a blue landscape with yellow stars, swirling all about. He does a really good job of taking us on a journey whenever these characters are at their most manic, and whenever they are, we see very subtly these stars start to swirl and twirl, and the painting takes on a life of its own. But he doesn't overdo it, which is a very important element.
Yeah. The acting, Katie Holmes, Luke Kirby, I thought they did a good job. For me, Kirby slightly edged Katie out, and just in terms of his performance, man, he really had some riveting scenes for me.
And he had to carry the film. He had to carry the film, and there was more of him in it than I felt Katie Holmes. But,
that's true. That's true. But
man,
he did a solid job.
He did.
He really moved me with just watching him go through his manic episodes.
Right.
And so I
was it
I
me, or was he like channeling Mark Ruffalo a little bit? Didn't he kind of look like Mark Ruffalo? Didn't you get that impression as you were watching it?
maybe favored him slightly, but that was maybe about the extent of it for me.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, so you felt like Kirby was kind of channeling a little Ruffalo there?
Unintentionally. I mean, they kind of favor one another, and their acting styles seem a little similar in some of their more dramatic roles that I've seen Mark Ruffalo in. Of course, not the Hulk. But Luke Kirby, he kind of comes across that way to me. I thought he did a very good job, though. Katie Holmes showed more range than I've seen from her before in a film. I mean, this is not Joey from Dawson's Creek, okay? This is Katie Holmes all grown up, and doing something very grown up in this particular role. I thought she did a good job. Christine Lottie and Griffin Dunn, they provide dramatic gravitas to the film, okay?
Yeah.
Where it's needed. They anchor it, and root it in reality when we need it to be rooted there. And I thought they did a really good job.
Yeah.
They always do. So I thought the acting was really well done.
Yeah, no doubt. All in all, like I said, hey, whether I like a romance or love stories or not, you guys always hear me talk about it. If a film gives me something to think about, to do self-reflection, something that I can really chew on, that raises the level of it for me.
And this movie made you feel some kind of way.
You see, golly, Shade. Hey, his new name is his last name is Shade now.
That wasn't Shade.
Kev Shade. Every time I try to go into my inner self and really share and be true to y'all, I got my partner here, Kev, right there with a little boot, just to kick me in the nuts.
I apologize. My bad.
I don't accept your apology. We'll keep going with the show too.
What you put on it, man?
So let's go into that. We'll get to that in just a second. But again, to my point, there is something to think about here. Little did I know. Well, first of all, little thing maybe you don't know, but the director Paul Dalio is bipolar. So
I interviewed the man. Yes, I know that.
Maybe they don't know, kid.
I thought you were talking to me. My bad.
No, man. I talk to you all the time. Talking to them. Anyway, so he is speaking from personal experience. It shows across in the film. It gets you to think these people that are bipolar, it's not just about the mental illness. There is a level of creativity and talent that comes with those individuals that even got me thinking beyond that, beyond bipolar. What about folks that are autistic? Right? Maybe they can't even have a verbal conversation, but they are mathematical geniuses.
Right.
There's so many dynamics here. I think there's something to this film. It definitely can create a conversation. Maybe that little badass kid in your classroom that you want to whip, maybe you need to give him some crayons instead, kid.
Put him in front of a piano or something.
Or whip they behind, then give him the crayons. I don't know. The crazy uncle in the back room, maybe he's a genius, or maybe he is just crazy.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. But again, it gets your mind going. I could appreciate that. This film is thought-provoking. Putting points on this thing for me, I give it a 7. Right. It's a 7 out of 10 for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the things that I found really, really thought-provoking and very interesting was the end credits. Before the end credits roll, you get a list of all of the artists, the poets, the musicians, the authors who suffered from this disorder and did some of their best work under the influence of it. And that really is what speaks loudly about this particular film, is that these two characters, these two star-crossed lovers, they feel like they are at their best together when they are as high as they possibly can be from a manic depressive standpoint. I thought that was really interesting. And this movie gets a 7 from me. It's very well done. I think that Paul Dalio has a very bright future in front of him.
Yeah.
And I look forward to what he has coming next.
That Kev and I need to clarify some things about our scoring system, okay? We made the assumption that it was obvious, but that's not necessarily the case based on some feedback that has come back to us, which is totally okay.
You know what they say about what happens when you assume things? It makes an ass out of you and me.
That's right.
We should not have made that assumption.
That's correct. So here it is. Kev and I score on a system of 1 to 10. 1 being the film was a hot mess. 10 being it was A1 first class top notch. Okay. The way we look at that scale is basically as a grade. All right. So if we give a film a 7, we're basically saying it passed. Right.
You got a 70.
Yeah.
You got between a 70 and a 79.
Yeah, you got it between a 70 and 79, or 8, right? You got a B, or you getting into the 9s. Hey, man, you really mastered the material. You are a star. Okay. Now, for example, if I give a film like a 5, for example, like 50 Shades of Black, you got a 50. You failed. You got half of the material correct, or just the approach to the film, or whatever.
But didn't you get somebody trying to check you about the fact that you gave it a 5? And
Yeah. Because somebody was like, "Well, dang, Aunt, you ripped the movie to shreds, and then you gave it a 5. A 5 ain't good."
Yeah.
Not from us. A 5
Yeah.
is not good. I don't know. A 5 is not good for
My
you,
mama
right,
didn't
Kev?
like me
Kev?
bringing 50s into the house.
Yeah, 50, you're going to get your behind whipped in my house. But I hope that helps and kind of clarify some things for you guys and, how we score our films. We started out the show saying, hey, we'll do that 1 to 10 because we want to do something maybe creative and do like
Right.
2 chicken wings and a biscuit. But somebody had already done that, and that was kind of...
No.
That was
And
a
we
little
weren't
too-
doing the 2 snaps up thing. We ain't doing that either.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right now.
and hell, you know what? You come up with some ideas for a scoring system. We all ears, all right? You come up with something better than the 1 out of 10. But for now, that's what works for us, and that's what we
is,
keep.
In other words, here for you. Never mind. Keep going.
Anyway, in the meantime, that's what we will keep using. That is our show. Hey, make sure you subscribe to this channel. Please follow us on Instagram.
Or you continue to hit us up on Twitter at The Movie Brothers. Or please go to our website. We have a newly developed and designed website, www.themoviebrothers.com, where you can go to. You can access all of our shows as well as written reviews that Ant and I will write for movies that we don't shoot a show for.
Absolutely.
So, for example, Deadpool is up there. If you want to know what we thought about Deadpool, there's a written review up there right now. Go check it out.
That's right. Yep. My last review, I did a review on Spike Lee's latest documentary about Michael Jackson and the process for his Off the Wall album. So other content out there, check it out. Hey, we are the Movie Brothers. I'm Ant. This is Kev. This is the place, the one and only place, make no mistake, where we bring you nothing but the real on the real. Peace.